Peace, love, and prosperity to the family, to my elite enlightened ones out there. Thank y'all for watching the Darius Corbin Mystery School. Listen, I want to thank y'all for taking the time to watch the Divine Feminine Energy, the rise of the Divine Feminine Energy. Those numbers are going up and still going up, and I thank y'all for the love. You have heard me, and I'm going to go right straight to part 2, chapter 2 right now. You have heard me and so many other people tell you throughout your years that you are greater than what people tell you, that within you there is something that supersedes this mortal flesh. By knowing the divine power of who you are, by connecting to your mind, you can get so much more out of life. This ain't the first time you're hearing about this. You have heard it from people, some of you, your whole life, but you just haven't had the step-by-step process of how do I get there. I hear what y'all saying, but how do I get there? So with the video you just watched, chapter 1, Transfer of Power, the rise of divine feminine energy, Christ energy, I hope that video was a taste of revealing and unraveling the truth of who you are. Once you know that you are more than this flesh, you are more than the 9 to 5, you are more than just negative energy, you are more than this stress and depression and anxiety. So just like I did in part 1, with part 2, I'm going to go even further so you can realize that there is a balance needed at this time. Don't just put yourself in one box and think that's all you are. Because once you do that, you limit yourself and you limit the powers. Some of you out there don't even know, don't even care, but some don't even know that they have powers within by using the power of their mind, imagination. So with that being said, I want you to go ahead and keep your ears open, your hearts pure. In 5 seconds, we're about to go in on chapter 2 of the rise of the divine feminine energy, Christ energy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You may hear a fly, by the way. If I get him through the presentation, give me a round of applause. If not, just don't pay him no mind. He's in for a good show too. Now let me go start back where we were on chapter 1, just to where we ended off. So you can kind of get a grasp of what we're doing here. Let's start with this one. When in balance, it is true that any active energy tends to dominate passive or receptive energy on any level. However, when in balance, our mental and emotional natures can work in full and equal partnership with each other to fulfill their creative roles and purpose in our lives. Whether we are male or female, achieving this feminine-masculine balance internally is another level of the legendary mystic marriage in most religious, spiritual, or philosophical belief systems. From a spiritual perspective, whether energy is active positive or passive negative is a matter of cyclic function, a cycle. Both males and females have masculine active positive and feminine passive negative aspects to their inner and outer nature and their bodies and faculties. Whether one is dominant or submissive depends on their respective and cyclic role in fulfilling individual or collective purposes. Since creative periods are incredibly long as it relates to one human lifespan, as humans we tend to classify our life from birth to death through our gender roles, their characteristics, and abuses. Our individual and collective internalization of gender conditioning erroneously passes on to subsequent generations as some kind of natural law. I always want to repeat this one again so I don't mess up. Our individual and collective internalization of gender conditioning erroneously, that means with error, passes on to subsequent generations as some kind of natural law. The abuses act to fuel ongoing gender conflict. So the wrong ways that we think about our roles, male and female, end up becoming a law to the new generation, even if it's false. Now, don't worry, we're about to get to chapter 2. Just as we give life to our thoughts and emotions individually through our devic body consciousness, and I hope you guys researched the word devic, D-E-V-I-C, and see what that meant. Collectively, our gender beliefs create living masculine and feminine entities, and I definitely want to make sure before I go to chapter 2 in a few seconds that I read this one very clear and that you, family, understand this very clear as we end chapter 1 and go right straight to chapter 2. Now, just as we give life to our thoughts and emotions individually through our devic body consciousness, collectively, our gender beliefs create living masculine and feminine entities in this same devic essence. Living within the unconscious realms of human life, they become part of the collective human consciousness. As such, they survive our physical death as the inheritance of future human generations. Unconsciously, they shape or even dominate our present gender interactions. These entities exist by feeding off the psychic energy generated through our continued conflict or sense of gender victimization. That was into part 1. We're going straight into part 2. However, long-standing our present gender conditionings might seem to us it is imperial, that means short in time, of your creative process. Let me read that again. However, long-standing our present gender conditioning might seem to us it is imperial in terms of your creative process. The masculine and feminine have alternated leadership roles over creative time, and through numerous cyclic shifts in duality aspect or energy emphasis to fulfill development purpose. In duality aspect or energy emphasis to fulfill development purposes. And I read that twice. It's all good. Let's keep going. Unless we develop our inner faculties for spiritual perception, we are unable to determine when a masculine or feminine leadership role or cycle ends in the creative process and the complementary one begins. So as I always do, I'm going to read that over again in its totality so we understand. Now, thank y'all for your patience. This is class. You should have pen and pad ready or just mentally be on your game. Let's read that again in totality. Thank you. However, long-standing our present gender conditionings might seem to us it is imperial in terms of your creative process. The masculine and feminine have alternated leadership roles over creative time and through numerous cycle shifts in duality aspect or energy emphasis and fulfill development purposes. Unless we develop our inner faculties for spiritual perception, we are unable to determine when a masculine or feminine leadership role or cycle ends in the creative process and the complementary one begins. Without this individual and collective perspective to see the greater creative energy cycles and purposes, we will always be struggling to hold on to the old archetype of creative gender development and resisting the new emerging one. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should read that again too. Without this individual and collective perspective to see the greater creative energy cycles and purposes, we will always be struggling to hold on to the old archetype of creative gender development and resisting the new emerging one. Let's continue reading. Another confusing element relating to physical body genders and their subtle body components is that from a spiritual perspective, our higher nature also has a masculine and feminine or active and passive aspects working on inner realms. I'm going to stop right there. Fly, I'm going to get you. I'm going to stop right there to get me a sip of tea. I think 2 of them. And whether you're religious or whether you're spiritual, and if you're religious, I want you to understand why Christ always told you to go within. Why he told you the kingdom of God was within you. The kingdom of heaven was within you. Everything he said was about the inner power or the inner country within you. He only spoke in parables. This is why this is important. And I'm not going to, be long-winded with it, but this is why, this is what Christ was trying to tell you, to go within. This outside world doesn't matter. Everything they're showing you on this news channels and stuff, this is illusion. The real work goes within, but let's keep on going. Where were I? Another confusing element relating to physical body genders and their subtle body components is that from a spiritual perspective, our higher nature also has masculine, feminine, or active, passive aspects. Working on inner realms. My experience over time has revealed, the author says, to me, our physical body and personality life are actually the opposite polarity from that of our inner being. I'm going to read that again. That's pretty huge. Did you hear what the author just said? And don't worry, I'm going to show you the book so you can maybe order this book or PDF it. I'm going to read that again. That's very serious. Another confusing element relating to physical body genders and their subtle body components is that from a spiritual perspective, our higher nature also has masculine, feminine, or active passive aspects working on inner realms. She says, my experience over time has revealed to me that our physical body and personality life are actually the opposite polarity from that of our inner being. What this means is that although we might embody as males or females, our inner being or soul nature in relation to the masculine or feminine is the reverse polarity. Flies, did you guys hear that? Flies. You guys out there, did you hear that? That is serious. See, these conversations as adults now, we got to start having. And I'm going to do a presentation. A real presentation, a really big presentation. I think I'm going to call it Christianity versus homosexuality. Christianity versus homosexuality. And I'm going to bring a whole lot of new information that's in your Bibles. We're going to go and do a bio on King James so you can see the contradiction that has been done. We are people, we are as one. But until we realize what has been done in the past, presently we cannot worry about a future. And I'm going to repeat that again. Until we deal what has happened as a people in the past, what has been done, presently we can't worry about the future. What this means is that although we might embody as males or females, our inner being or soul nature in relation to the masculine or feminine is the reverse polarity. When this video stops, some of you are going to sit and think about that. So for some of you, it's going to make sense by the way you are now. But we are people, and if we don't start acting like a unity as one, like we are, then you're going to see a lot more war, famine, chaos. Besides being true, this inner to outer polarity reversal also serves a very practical function in making our physical life possible. Through the crystallizing energy force in matter, these opposite polarity relationships create the essential matter locks that hold our bodies together. And this next conversation is going to be very familiar to a lot of y'all because you know how we talk about having cords. Every person you meet, every person you come in contact with, you create this cord, C-O-R-D, this cord with. And depending on your relationship with that person, if it's toxic or hazardous, if you haven't cut that cord, then you can expect more chaos and more trouble down the way, down the future, because you haven't cut that cord and cut the ties literally with that person in the past. So let's continue going on. Besides being true, this inner to outer polarity reversal also serves a very practical function in making our physical life possible. Through the crystallizing energy force in matter, these opposite polarity relationships create the essential matter locks that hold our bodies together. Usually these locks remain intact and only break when our silver cord withdraws at death. However, in order to build new physical bodies, yeah, this is that talk. And I still got to show you the book cover. This is that talk. Quantum World, Age of Aquarius, this is that talk. Once again, the author says, let me finish off. Usually, these locks remain intact and only break when our silver cord withdraws at death. However, in order to build new physical bodies, we must learn how to break them consciously. The author says, my experience has been that this is only possible when we truly understand and have extensive experience working with the ever-present duality in the spirit-matter relationship. Mind, body, and soul must be united. The need for developing and balancing our internal feminine and masculine cannot be emphasized enough. To my family, my brothers and sisters watching this, did you hear what the author just said? Did you hear what the author just said? The need, family, for developing and balancing our internal feminine and masculine cannot be emphasized enough. This challenging process leads us into conscious awareness of how our personality creations use our polarity aspects to limit our spiritual growth and block our access to a higher conscious self. I know what y'all thinking, and that's why I'm here. I'm a Christ being, here to wake my people up, my brothers and sisters. You always knew that you were greater. There have been so many grids locked and trying to lock us down, but the matrix is breaking. The fake matrix, the original matrix is mother, the mater, but that's a whole different conversation. Let's read that again, family. And thank you for your patience. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your comments. I am your family. You don't have to be alone. No Christ is within you. No Christ is with you. Understand. The need for developing and balancing our eternal feminine and masculine cannot be emphasized enough. This challenging process leads us into conscious awareness of how our personality creations use our polarity aspects to limit our spiritual growth and block our access to higher conscious self. In order to become proficient at breaking our own masculine and feminine body consciousness locks, it's time to break it. We must stop projecting our own internal duality conflict on the other gender as the source of our problems and difficulties. Certain pills are hard to swallow. I can understand that. But doesn't mean that you still don't gotta swallow the pill. Once again, a hard pill may be hard to swallow, but you still gotta take that hard pill. Listen to what I say again. We must stop projecting our own internal duality conflict, on the other gender. I'm going to read that again. Family, we must stop projecting our own internal duality conflict on the other gender as the source of our problems and difficulties. The psychic reaction our projections evoke in others only seem to strengthen our body consciousness and matter resistance to eternal masculine-feminine balance and the potential changes this level of unification can bring about within us. I think you guys need to be sharing this video. I think the Congress needs to see this video. I think the White House needs. Y'all worry about who the next president is. We need to be worrying about this so our spiritual growth can be in abundance. What are you worried about? What's on the TV right now? What's on the news? War? The biggest war is the war that they're trying to portray on the divine masculine and divine feminine. The biggest war is the sickest people who are running the country are trying to convince you that you have mental sickness. If we as a people do not stand up and unite with the Christ power, these wicked people that you have continued to support will continue to downthrow your spiritual energy, and you're going to let them. Not me. Not me. Family, I can't. This has only been 20 minutes. The sun is about to set. This video needs to be heard. And the flies are having a great time as well. The flies are having a, man, you guys are great guests, by the way. You keep quiet when you need to keep quiet. And when you're ready, you show off. So I thank you, flies, as well. And I thank you guys for watching. Oh, man, that was powerful. I'm going to read that again, and we're going to keep on going. We must stop projecting our own internal duality conflict on the other gender as the source of our problems and difficulties. The psychic reaction our projections evoke in others only seems to strengthen our body consciousness and matter resistance to eternal masculine-feminine balance and the potential changes this level of unification can bring about within us. If a male does not identify, develop, and balance his lower feminine nature, he will have a great difficulty finding his true spiritual path through his feminine nature. Fellas? All right, flies, don't show off. I done gave y'all a shout out. Don't be showing off now. I done gave y'all a shout out. Men, we just celebrated Father's Day. Did you hear what the author just said? And by the way, I'm going to give you guys, let's go ahead and look at the book. Our Spiritual Destiny. You see that? See if you can borrow. A lot of these books, man, a lot of books that you guys see me with, I got to go Virginia Beach to the Edgar Casey. I got a PDF this. I got a library full of books. But listen to this. Our Spiritual Destiny. Manifesting New Bodies by Frederick R. Kipp. See if you guys can see that. When you go on YouTube and you watch these videos and people tell you important spiritual information like this, make sure they give you resources or receipts so you can go do your own research and place your own judgment. That's what type of teacher and minister I am. I don't want you to just go off of my word. I want you to listen with your heart, listen with your ears, and then go do your own research. And if you want to, get back at me. If not, that's good too. If a male does not identify, develop, and balance his lower feminine nature, he will have great difficulty finding his true spiritual path through his higher feminine nature. This process is necessary in order to access his soul level energies and ultimately his monic energies. That's M-O-N-A-D-I-C. I would like for you to Google that, or YouTube, Google that word as well later on. The same is true for females relating to their lower masculine, because like I told you in the last video, whether you're male or female, if you're a male, you have a divine feminine energy within you. If you are female, you have a divine masculine. That is something you can't overlook. The problem is, because of religion, because of church, they have trying to suppress you with what they thought they knew in the scriptures and trying to ban you for your sexual energy. And because of that, you have been confused of your sexual energy. Now the results are that everybody is confused and feel that they are punished for their sexual energy, when in all truth there has been an entanglement with the law of the world and the so-called law of religion, and they didn't put y'all in the loop. This is why I'm reading this. This is why this presentation is given to you. That's why I'm going to do Christianity versus homosexuality. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know who you are, if you're not comfortable in your skin, and that goes for everybody, if you're not ready to confront issues that happened with you in your past, and I'm speaking to everybody, then how do you expect to grow? You have kids, you bring kids in this world, and you haven't healed from yours, and now you are passing this energy to your kids, and now they have to deal with this through their astral world, through their dreams, and manifesting this to their life. This process is necessary in order to access his we're talking once again about the males. This process is necessary in order to access his soul level energies and ultimately his monic energies, M-O-N-A-D-I-C. The same is true for females relating to their lower masculine and finding their path through their higher masculine to their soul level. Now, this next word I'm about to use, you guys have heard this a lot, but now we're going to give you the true definition. So for all my spiritual people out there, now you can really let the people know what kundalini means. The kundalini, yes. The snake that rises through the body and connects to the higher world. That divine power. It's even mentioned in the Bible. I'm going to do a video about that and let you know that the kundalini, the pineal gland, the one eye is all in the Bible. It's all there. Christ was trying to tell you, but he was trying to tell you in the way that he knew a lot of you guys would understand, so he had to talk in parables. That's why the disciples only got the real one. The masses got the watered down. But it was still good work, though. Kundalini energy is the feminine creative power in both females and males. Kundalini energy is the feminine creative power in both females and males. You're going to hear a lot more people in the upcoming years talk about Kundalini. What time I say 25? I'll probably stop at about 40. I think we did a great time. We did a great time last time. And if I got to, I'll stop and I'll make a part 3. Y'all communicate. If y'all want a part 3, let me know. But it's about to get even more greater. So thank you for your patience as the sun sets. Kundalini energy is the feminine creative power in both females and males. The arousal, listen to that word. The arousal, yes, AROUSAL. You know what that word is. We on grown folks time now. The arousal of this energy and the conscious constructive application of its activated aspects are the key to raising the vibration of the physical body. Oh, somebody better TikTok that. TikTokers, hold on, I know in the future they're gonna be TikToking my stuff. So let me get my TikTok ready. I'll start all over again. TikTokers. Kundalini energy is the feminine creative power in both females and males. The arousal of this energy and the conscious constructive application of its activated aspects are the key to raising the vibration of the physical body. In many Eastern spiritual traditions, a coiled and sleeping serpent symbolizes Kundalini energy to depict it as dangerous and consciously latent. Latent, not Latin, like, respect to my Latin family. But latent, maybe it's Latin. You know what, Latent. Stop there. For my religious people, stop there. For my spiritual people, stop there, because now we never leave the Bible, family. Y'all been hearing me say this for years now. Did you hear what I just read? Don't worry, I'm going to read it again. Let's start here, so I'm going to go all the way back. The arousal of this energy and the conscious constructive application of its activated aspects are the key to raising the vibration of the physical body. Church people, spiritual people, listen to this part. Kundalini energy, I went a little bit further. In many Eastern spiritual traditions, a coiled and sleeping serpent, listen people, serpent symbolizes Kundalini energy to depict it as dangerous and consciously latent. I'm going to get that word right. Think about Adam and Eve and the serpent. Remember in the Bible, it said that the serpent was wise. The serpent is the one that told him, listen, man, that God right there, he's not eat that fruit and you will be just like the gods. But listen where it says. Listen where it goes in. It says it's dangerous. Remember in the Bible, it says that serpent is dangerous. Watch it. He's wise, but he's dangerous. But let's continue reading, though. In time and with considerable conscious growth and struggle, we learn how to raise and synthesize. I was about to chop and screw that whole word up. In time and with considerable conscious growth and struggle, we learn how to raise and synthesize the masculine and feminine aspects of the kundalini energy flowing through our nervous system. So family, as I slow this down, I want my religious people to think about that too, and my spiritual people. The Adam and Eve story told you about the serpent and told you it was dangerous, but it also told you it was wise. But if we wisen up, we realize that once we activate that energy, that it's not so dangerous no more. In fact, once we activate that kundalini energy, my gosh, you reap the benefits. You've been scared the whole time to activate that kundalini because of this one story about the serpent. But Christ told you that everything in that Bible is a parable. It's everything in there is symbolized. You gotta decode it. Fly, thank you, flies, man. Y'all, thank you. Yeah, y'all feel me? Give me a minute now. Give me a minute. When building a new physical body, joining, balancing, and synthesizing the higher with the lower feminine and masculine are essential in order to access and draw down our monic energies into our personal life. And that's MONADIC. That monic energy is higher than the soul that we have within us now. We in soul level, we are soul beings, but that monic energy is a higher level than the soul. So make sure you Google that word. I'm gonna read that again. And I'm probably gonna stop about around 40 minutes. Leave comments, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, tell a friend to tune in. When building a new physical body, joining, balancing, and synthesizing the higher with the lower feminine and masculine are essential in order to access and draw down our monic energies into our personal life. Synthesized levels of monic energy within our higher nature, acting in union with its kundalini energy counterpart, synthesized in our lower nature, are the powers that transforms our body matter, not us. I got my LL Cool J shades on. I'm not going to take them off. I had them on this whole presentation. I'll be all right for 20 more minutes. When building a new physical body, joining, balancing, and synthesizing the higher with the lower feminine and masculine are essential in order to access and draw down our monic energies. That's MONADIC into our personal life. Synthesized levels of monic energy within our higher nature, acting in union with its kundalini energy counterpart, synthesized in our lower nature, are the powers that transform our body, not us. Remember what Christ said, not me, but the Father. If I tell you I do anything, don't go by that. It's the Father. So listen to what that say again. Acting in union with its kundalini energy counterpart, synthesized in our lower nature, are the powers that transform our body matter, not us. That's why Christ was trying to tell you, all this power I got, it ain't through me, it's through this power within me. See, there's a science to this religion that they kept from you. Apparently, masculine, feminine components of duality are present in all levels of matter. Whenever your conscience takes form, let me read that again. Apparently, masculine, feminine components of duality are present in all levels of matter whenever your consciousness takes form. From our clairvoyant observations, this was evident within the creative imaginations, and that's EMANATIONS. Let's get that word right. Within that creative one, the development cycles and periods of our planet and the initial descent of energy into the three aspect rays. I believe it is only through the balance and union of duality within us as human beings that a synthesis or purity, of ray aspect expressions can be achieved. Through looking at our past development history, we can gain perspective on the cycle of polarity. My gosh, I'm going to stop right there right quick. I'm going to do me a quick face rub because we got about 6 minutes left, and I want to thank y'all once again for rocking with me. I got a little more left on my tea. And I'm going to read that out again. Apparently, masculine, feminine components of duality are present in all levels of matter. Whenever your conscious takes form. From our clairvoyant observations, this was evident within the creative emanations, the development cycles and periods of our planet, and the initial descent of energy into the three aspect rays. I believe it is only through the balance and union of duality within us as human beings that a synthesis or purity of ray aspect expressions can be achieved. Through looking at our past developmental history, we can gain perspective on the cycle of polarity. Developmental. I want to make sure I get that word right. Until relatively recently in the Earth period and root race development phase, the apparent role and the responsibility of the masculine aspect has been to lead and to prepare the way in matter for the feminine aspect. Let's read that again. Until relatively recently in the Earth period and root race, flies, quiet down. The people need to hear this part. Until recently pretty much, in the Earth period and root race development phase, the apparent role and the responsibility of the masculine aspect has been to lead and prepare the way in matter for the feminine aspect. And I just want to make sure I read that again before we end part 2. Until recently in this Earth period and root race development phase, the apparent role and the responsibility of the masculine aspect has been to lead and prepare the way in matter for the feminine aspect. Following this preparation, the feminine role is to begin its subsequent creative leadership cycle in the Christ energy. Ooh, part 3 going to be good if y'all ready for part 3. Let's read that again. Following this preparation, the feminine role is to begin its subsequent creative leadership cycle in the Christ energy. Once again, that is Christ energy expression in matter. This active leadership role for the collective feminine principle seems to be to transform present planetary life forms and bodies into a new and higher level of matter from what the Holy Spirit showed us on inner planets. Ooh, this is a good part 2 to stop at. Tell me I'm not bringing proof to my brothers and sisters, that you are greater. Tell me I'm not bringing proof that this esoteric and occult knowledge that Christ was given to you is making sense that now we are reading this. And I want to thank y'all for being patient. I know sometimes I chop and screw the words up. Shout out to DJ Screw. Shout out to Houston. Sometimes, I may stutter on some of the words, but I always like to bring it back so you can understand the totality of what I'm saying. This book is giving you proof that what Christ was saying, that within you is a greater power. It is time now, because we're in this age of Aquarius. They say that out in the universe is this dark matter that's coming. I and a lot of other people, and you're about to know that this dark matter that's coming now, the world is 85-90% dark matter now. This universe is. It's mother returning. This original matrix is returning here in the age of Aquarius. There's a planet you guys need to Google the meaning of, Uranus. Google Uranus and see what Uranus symbolizes. Heaven. It all connects. Family, we are in the quantum world. Call me what you want. Don't focus on the messenger, focus on the meshes. This is important. I am telling you that you are Christ beings. I am telling you to not just believe in yourself, but know that you are greater. I am bringing this proof until my eyes are closed and I transform into the next realm out of this physical form. This is what I'm telling you. Please listen. Let's unite. Do not let those people divide us. All races and all colors, let's unite. It's about to be sunset now. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to stop with it real soon, but I want to read this again with my LL Cool shades on. As the light gets, where I'm going to stop it? I'm going to stop it right here. Part 2 is about to end right now. You guys want part 3? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know by the likes. Y'all let me know by the likes for that part 1 that y'all wanted a part 2. Part 2 is here. Let me know how you like part 2 by the likes. We're going to do a part 3. My job is to let you know, my brothers and sisters, that you are greater. You don't have to struggle no more. Rejoice. Following this preparation, let's go right back so you can understand what just was said here. Until recently, in this Earth's period and root race development phase, the apparent role and the responsibility of the masculine aspect has been to lead and prepare the way and matter for the feminine aspect. Do you guys understand what that role was? Until recently. And we talked about that in previous videos. Following, this was exactly what was supposed to happen in its correct form. And I'm going to read it again. You have the truth now. You have the power. We don't have to fail. We can change this history, his story. Until recently, in this Earth period and root race development phase, the apparent role and the responsibility of the masculine aspect has been to lead and prepare the way and matter, matter, M-A-T-T-E-R, and physical aspect for the feminine aspect. Following this preparation, the feminine role is to begin its subsequent creative leadership cycle in the Christ energy. In the Christ energy. Expression and matter. Let me read that again. Following this preparation, the feminine role is to begin its subsequent creative leadership cycle in the Christ energy, expression, and matter. This active leadership role for the collective feminine principle seems to be to transform present planetary life forms and bodies into a newer and higher level of matter. How come they're not reporting this on the news? How come this is not on CNN and Fox? How come you guys ain't YouTubing this? From what the Holy Spirit showed us on inner planes, this leadership transition from a masculine to feminine energy cycle began on Earth sometime around the mid-18th century. This feminine leadership cycle is necessary to bring about creative equality and aspect leadership cycle. This feminine leadership cycle is necessary to bring about creative equality and aspect balance between the masculine and feminine in humanity to prepare us for the rapid evolutionary body changes ahead. Family, if you have liked this video, if you have understand the words, share it, make it go viral. What are you worried about? Bills, anxiety, depression, stress? This is what you should be worried about, people. There's a higher power that you should go outside and scream and shout and rejoice because you worship divine creatures. Christ can only tell these people 2,000 years ago because their conscious level could understand. That's why he named the divine mind the Father and the Spirit the Mother. Guys, do you understand what I'm saying? Go outside and rejoice because Christ is here. You are Christ. I and the Father are one. I'm going to see you all on part 3. Peace and love.